start shuffling the cards. And I'll just kind of see what comes out here. Because I was feeling a lot of sweet energy between them as well. And when I have sort of used these cards on myself, I do tend to get a lot of passionate messages, which I think are, really sweet. They tend to speak to my heart. Okay, I'll start with these two. So the first one I have here is the masculine offering the feminine a rose. Now, my interpretation of this is that the tables have turned, and if you'll see, he's on his knee, much like the dream that I told you guys that I had. I think he's like humbling himself now. Like, now is a period where the masculines are starting to wake up a little bit towards the behavior and attitudes that they've had towards the feminine on the twin flame journey. And now they're really humbling themselves. I can tell that she wants to put her guard down, but you'll still see that the sword is there, right? She wants to put her guard down, which is why she's sort of offering him the feet first, which is like, hold up. The rose smells nice, but hang on a second. And so it's a great space to be in feminine, because I really feel that, you do deserve it. For me, the hat signifies him putting it down and just being a gentleman. The feathers on her side is, just angelic, just her beauty. But he very much wants to be there for her. Excuse me, guys, sorry. I think he very much wants to be there for her now, but like a gentleman. And he wants to pursue her. And finally, the feminines are in a space of wanting to be pursued. We're no longer chasing because we're just so busy these days. I don't know. That's the only way I feel like I can put it. We're just really busy these days. Okay. So I see here that they are making love. I see someone here in the background. I don't know, guys. Like, I feel like for this, he's starting to understand and wake up to the kind of woman that the divine feminine is, and he's seeing that through his experience with the karmic. So, to me, I think this has sort of been why there's been a lot of heartbreak and mistrust in his life. It's because he's always having to worry about this. And if you'll see, she's with him passionately, and he wants to be there because look at his arms, right? He wants to sort of be there and, really be the man in her life. That's what he's kind of seeking, is that validation, right? Which is why it's like so toxic and imbalanced, because he needs to have that self-love. But this is like her way of like always making him feel trapped and insecure, because naturally as men, there's that like drive and will and ambition to have structure and the ability to just fertilize rather than be fertile. And so that's why sex and relationships and all that negativity around it, like the karmic situation sometimes, this is exactly what it is. And I feel like the masculine tends to hold back a lot of what's going on with the karmic, because he really doesn't want you to see him in this light. Because I think the wisdom that you have, like, your words would heal him and how to get out of this. Just by simply having like a genuine conversation with you, you would show him his worth. But this is how she kind of keeps, the masculine. Us as women, we have a very special energy with our sexuality. And it's because we're the creators. Like, the reason there was a huge imbalance of power between men and women is because the imbalance was that men saw that women could bring spirit into life, which is creation. And so there's always this imbalance of trying to like dominate. And when women who are of a different path in life and their goals are different, then they tend to use sexuality in a different way, which is also to dominate. So two dominating energies will always be out of balance because what he's seeking is the receiving, which is the feminine energy. So, that was a lot on this card. But yeah, I mean, his swords are here. I think for sure there's a lot of guards up for the both of them, and there's no sense of receiving anywhere. So he doesn't feel safe or loved, and it's very toxic to keep wanting this that he so desperately is trying to get out of. But he feels almost disgusted by himself when he thinks about this situation, and then trying to get out of it by approaching the divine feminine in his eyes is just, that's what makes him go silent and stay away, because he really doesn't feel like your energy is something that he wants to sort of penetrate at this time. He needs to sort of heal, which is why if us feminines connect with them in the 5D, like writing them letters, sending them love, sending them songs, but keeping our distance in the 3D, we allow them to do the work, but at the same time, we still support them. And in that feminine energy of just sending out love and vibration and being happy in our own energies, right? Because we sort of spiritually give them strength when we take care of ourselves. We have a lot of color around us. We express our creativity artistically. That's what gives them strength to overcome those situations, such as these. The more we take care of ourselves, the more strength he gets to wake up to what's going on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and see if we can get a few more just to kind of help clarify that, I guess. Gosh, I really like these cards, guys. Maybe just get some clarification on what he's feeling at this time for the divine feminine, because I feel that strongly. Like, he doesn't really want to come around when he's in this kind of energy. Aww. You know what? I'm going to keep you because I feel like you wanted to come out. Okay, so if you'll notice here, that's how he kind of feels, and he doesn't want to feel this like rough around the edges. He really wants to be put together and abundant. And the birds around are telling him that, hey, if you just put that self-love in yourself, hold that light to yourself, this big, beautiful light that, hey, look, a nice masculine energy is it's carrying, you'll have the courage to approach the feminine, and her healing is what's going to turn you into that king, right? And so I think, the feminine here, like, she's just so bold. It's like she's so beautiful and vulnerable. I'm getting lost in my words here just because it's so sweet. But, I feel like, even look at the way her hand is on his chest. It's almost like she wants him to know and understand that seeking out her wisdom and her words is natural for him to want, because that's what's going to bring him healing. And the divine feminine doesn't only heal the masculine in this way. Everyone in her life, she heals with her words. So it's a natural tendency to come to the feminine for healing. And so because she embodies that energy so naturally, if you look at what she's wearing here, it's just, very, very simple, very vague. She's able to surrender, and because she's in her power, right? And she's not afraid of getting hurt, because there's nothing really that can hurt her. When she gets hurt, she transforms it into beauty. Like, if you look at all the natural surroundings around her, this is the kind of environment and space that he's longing to be in. So as long as he can do the work in his in his side of the journey, which is balancing the feminine, being a little bit more open to receiving, then it'll help him sort of calm the darker masculine energies that have penetrated the planet. And he gets that sort of that balance from the feminine whenever he connects with her in a vulnerable way like this. You know, whether it's through talking, texting, just a few words here and there sometimes is like that boost that he needs to get clarity and recognition in his life. Oh, okay. Okay, so here it says swords as well, which is again picking up on the karmic energy. You know, this is really where the divine masculine wants to be. And I feel like because of his karmic situation, look at him, even though he's in this beautiful situation with the feminine, this reminds me of like a dream, you know? It's like he's worried still. Like that look on his face is not like, oh yeah, baby. It's like, you know, I really want to enjoy this, but he can tell that he's being watched. And this can represent, you know, a number of situations, you know, mother, you know, spouse, you know, any kind of feminine energy that may be in his life that is sort of holding him back or preventing him from seeing his own truth. And it's not necessarily because they're there to do harm. I think it's because they feel like they want to do what's best for him. Like I feel like maybe this feminine is, you know, very independent, you know, very much of a go-getter. She may have children, and I feel like that's why the family maybe has like an issue with that, because, you know, they think that the feminine is somehow, you know, wanting to be with the masculine because of this reason, or, you know, looking for some kind of, you know, refuge in him. But I feel like for the feminines, you know, there's been a lot of changes in her life, and she's just living like a goddess now. And I feel like the sword here represents the feminine living in her truth about her connection to the masculine, despite who knows about it. She's ready to tell anybody her truth with the sword, and he knows that, and he wants to embody that strength too by saying, hey, listen, close the curtain and mind your business. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's so romantic here. Like, there's light around them, which is providing that clarity for him. And I think just look at how free she is. She really doesn't care in the sense, you know, she'll grope her own body, she'll caress herself, she'll, you know, lay there and be ravished by him. And if anyone comes close to let her know anything about it, then she has her sword close by, because she's not afraid to speak her truth about it, right? The feminine, she's so comfortable in her feminine energy of just spreading love and divine beauty. But at the same time, she's balanced in that masculine energy where she can stand. She can stand very tall when she needs to. And yeah, I just feel like he admires that. Like, he just wants to know if this is for real. Like, this kind of woman exists, really? The perfect woman exists, you know, and from his perspective, in his eyes, that's what he feels. But I feel like with the harp there too, it's like he's in his own world about her, and the louder he plays the harp, the more he uses that vibration of music to get in touch with his own truth. And yeah, the more the light will just kind of overcome them, and whoever is here will understand their place. Okay, I really hope this resonates with some of you and helps. And I'm sending much love and light to you all at this time. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.